Hi everybody, Salma Manzur with 12 Rivers Realty, here for our next episode about investing with my friend Sonny Bara.
With the Bara team at Keller Williams.
That's right. And today, and every day, we talk about investment. Investment all day, every day. Why? Because that's what's going to get you to whatever life you want. So last episodes, we talked about how we got into investing, and we both really started how everybody starts, and that is getting to your first home, right? And actually, I take that back. That's not how everybody starts.
Yeah.
Some people are absolutely so much fortunate that they inherit.
That's right.
But we started with working. We're in this business. We help people buy and sell. We help people buy and sell investments. One thing led to another, and here we are. Why do you invest, Sonny? Because you did 10 years of real estate before you invested.
The answer is I started because I saw the potential of how much money you could make, but it really quickly turned into the ability to give my family choices to create generational wealth. For someone who grew up very modestly. I grew up below the poverty line for most of my life. Then I quickly realized that money gives us choices, and it's the ability to, when you get older, such as my daughter going to college right now. I was telling some story a few days ago, is that my daughter's really passionate about sports. She's going to be playing college soccer. Congratulations, Ava B. But she was talking to me about how she wanted to do sports marketing, but she was looking at how much they make, and it just wasn't near enough to live. She loves Austin. It wasn't near enough to live in Austin. So she's like, I'm probably going to have to do medical sales for a little while, something like that. Then it dawned on me. It's like, I already knew. I said, David, this is what we're working for. We're working so that you can have choices, because what real estate's going to afford you is the ability to do what you love as a passion versus having to go clock in at some 9-to-5 job. And so it quickly turned into being about money, into being able to give my family the opportunity to have choices in life.
Right. I mean, I can't agree with you more, especially in this day and age where life happens so fast. Information is coming at you so fast. Like, I don't know what I like anymore, what I'm passionate about anymore. Yeah. I mean, I do, but people don't.
Correct.
People don't know what's of interest anymore. Like, and what do I do? What do I do with my time and my life? And is this all there is work? And then, like, life is so expensive. Do I have to work this hard to afford this life that's work? Like,
correct.
It's hard. It's hard out there, you guys. And so you have to think smarter. Life is moving too fast. If you're still thinking like you were before, then you're going to kind of get left behind. And so like I've said before, like when I saw the equation of 1 + 1 = 5, like there's no going back.
Correct.
Like you can't shut me up. I've got to tell everybody about it. Whether you're smart enough, quick enough, hardworking enough, lucky enough to listen to me and actually follow the steps is up to you. But like, I'm still buying and selling real estate for other people, helping them, and for myself. I don't have to have you do it, right? And that's what I've learned in my investment journey, is that I was like, oh my God, I reached a point in my career where I am really enjoying it. I am making a lot of money, and I am helping people get into homes. And then I'm helping some people invest. And then I thought, I could do this forever. That's why I chose real estate, because I find that the real estate is not something that you have to retire from, because there's always going to be people buying and selling homes, right?
Yeah.
So, but then real estate is hard, and it's getting competitive out there with 1 million agents, and it's getting competitive out there with AI. And so now, in this stage in my life, I am more ignited and excited about sharing this information, but also buying more as quickly as I can. Because I see how it works, I see how the formula works, and I want to retire. And so this is my point. My point is that like I got into the retirement because I thought this is my way of retirement.
Correct.
Right? I don't have a 401k.
Correct.
I don't work for a company. I don't work for anyone. I'm my entrepreneur. I eat what I make.
Correct.
And I can't be making what I eat for the rest of my life because I'm getting older and it's tiresome. So I was thinking future, right? So here I am making future. plans, thinking, manifesting. And then I happened to be in a career where the economy blew up and I was able to make good financial decisions and I bought some real estate. Okay? Now, let's be real. The market changed. It didn't move at the same speed as we were used to seeing it. And what goes up must come down. Mm-hmm. So then I was left with the real estate that I bought, whereas other people were left with real debt.
Correct.
Right? Because everybody was making so much money that other people were buying other debt. However debt that is, I'm not pointing fingers, but my debt is in real estate.
Correct.
And in another episode, we're going to talk about the risks. We're going to talk about the hard times. But right now, we're talking about all the goodness that this really, really means. Looking back in these short 4 years of my investment journey, and what I've realized in the last year and a half, which has been the hardest year and a half in my real estate life because I started in a point where it just is going up. And now my day-to-day, my regular 9-to-5 job, my real estate job, I do what I do my calls, and then I have to stop by my real estate, my portfolio, check on my properties, invest in my properties a little bit, some days water it a little bit more, whatever, prune it, love it, take care of it. And I realize that like I'm living already what I'm manifesting.
Correct.
I am taking care of myself by taking care of these properties. You guys, like, it's not a stressful thing. It's a joyful thing, knowing that I might be doing this for the next 10 years and that this is what's feeding me when my clients aren't buying, when they're afraid about the rates, when they're afraid about elections. That's not going to matter. Like, I didn't think it was going to matter to me when I was 55 and had real estate. Guess what? It doesn't occupy my brain now because this is what's occupying my brain. Like, I'm living my future.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, it looks pretty good.
For sure.
It's pretty exciting.
It is.
And that's why we want to share with people what we're doing, because if we can do it, you can do it. That's why we're here. We're not bullshitting you. Like, catch me in the next 5 years. AI can take over the real estate world because AI can't take over real estate.
Right. They cannot take over real estate. They cannot buy the property. They cannot. So cool. The people who invented AI, the super wealthy people, they can be buying. They're actually buying all the real estate, right? So we need to be buying it. And just think about this, guys. If you have to just think of one thing here, really the only thing that's ever going to beat the amount of taxes that are imposed on us every year, they get higher and higher, and inflation as high as it's ever been. I just can't think of anything else that beats that than real estate. So if you have your money in real estate, leveraged, by the way, it's going to be tough for them to out-tax you and for them to out-inflate you, right? So at the end of the day, all we're doing is fighting inflation and taxes. And in my opinion, the best way to do that is to own as much real estate as possible.
Right. And what we're trying to tell you is that if you are 18, 19, 20, 21, you are already going to have to work. You're already going to have to work relatively hard to pay that rent. If you're lucky and your parents help you, then good on you. You're still going to have to pay. You're still going to have a job. You're still going to be like most people, right? There are people out there that have things paid for, that are very fortunate, whatever. But most people are going to have a 9-to-5 job to then pay for a roof over your head. We're just telling you guys to talk to us so that you can finagle a way to work just as hard for that same amount of money, but instead of paying over somebody else's money that grows exponentially, to put it back into your own money pie growing exponentially. That's what we've done. We're trying to explain it. It's not always as easy as we're explaining it, and there are some pitfalls, downfalls, but that's just life.
Yeah.
That's just life.
I wonder if I can take a break to look at my phone real quick, because it reminded me of a story of my friend Emily. She used to work for us as our assistant when she was in high school. She was 15 years old. Actually, I just asked her how old she was because this is right before I got here. She hasn't responded yet. Because she's 15 years old now. And this is another...
She's 15 years old.
No, I'm sorry. She was 15 years old when she started working for us.
Okay.
And so I'm probably guessing she's about 25 right now.
Okay.
And do you know how many doors she owns right now?
No.
4.
Really?
4. She's 25 years old because she's seen it happen. She's listened to us say this time and time again, right? So she went to college, graduated from Texas State, put very little money down on her first property. As soon as it was valuable enough to where the rent covered the mortgage, she went and put another small amount down on her next property. Right. And then the market got good. She got into real estate, working for a builder. She was making good money, bought another one, and she bought a VRBO in Fredericksburg. She's killing it. She's 25 years old. By the time she's 30 or 35, if she chose, she would never have to work again.
Right.
Never have to work again.
That's true. And that's the other thing that I realized. Again, like, the numbers don't lie. Right. If I just continue on my path for the next 3 years, like...
Right.
I mean, like, it's about choices. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to work.
Right.
But maybe I will go to France and open up a boutique or a coffee shop or whatever, because I have this income making money for me. Like again, like, people think, oh, I'm too young to retire. Oh, that seems too hard. Like, life is already hard. Life is already unfair. Again, take the advice. Don't take the advice. If it sounds like too broad of a subject, like, reach out to us. We can be found all over the map. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, our phone numbers. Like, we're in Austin, Texas. We sell real estate. Sonny, Bara, Salma Manzur. We are not hard to reach, and we do want to help. Yes. Like, we are not trying to sell real estate. We are trying to empower people. Correct. Because there's just higher intense populations in the cities that we live in. Resources are getting scarce, and land is one of those resources.
Yep.
Point blank, period.
We talked about that earlier too. If you I think we talked about that earlier. If you really think about land is getting scarce, if we're talking about waters rising, then land is actually technically disappearing all over the world.
Exactly. We're gonna start talking to cliches here. You know what I mean? When's the best time to buy? Now. How quickly can you buy land? As quickly as you can. This young person did it at the age of 25.
Went to Hayes High School, by the way. Just went to Hayes High School. Her parents was her dad has passed, one of the best guys, one of my mentors. Right. But she comes from a very modest lifestyle, right? But she also made this sacrifice of decisions to say, hey, I'm not going to go partying in Ibiza like Salma did.
Right.
And then...
YOLO.
That's right. So she made a few sacrifices, but look at her now. She's 20. Right. She's got to be 25 or 26, and she owns 4 properties worth millions of dollars.
Right. Same with my nephew and my niece. They were 26 years old when they moved here, 26 and 24, straight out of England. They had graduated college. He had started his business. She was just working a 9-to-5 out of college. They moved here because he was born here and they could, right in 2019. And he started working with his videography career, marketing career. She was illegal. She's French and English. Mm-hmm. So she was here on a visitor visa. I really don't know how she was here, but it took her a while to then eventually be able to get a job legally. And for a while there, like, I think she was Ubering and he was, doing videography. Long story short, they eventually put a little money together and bought at the height of the market in 2021 and bought a house in Round Rock. Okay, this is a couple in their 20s, recently married. They buy a house in Round Rock, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. They DIY it themselves, break down a wall, put the counter, do whatever. They're young, they're vibrant, they've got the guts to do this. They have to borrow money from my cousin who lives in Europe with her husband because it was a multiple offer situation and they had to bring $40,000 above asking. And then they bought their house, they lived in it. They got to America. They couldn't buy any sooner, and they bought as fast as they could. Now these guys that was 24, 26. Now they are 30 and 28. They own their second home in Lockhart. They bought that home for like $350 at the downturn of the market. They got a construction loan. They started fixing it. And now that house is probably worth, in this low market, probably worth $800,000, right? As soon as the market picks up and they continue to remodel it, it might be worth $900,000, okay? And they're going to take that money. Oh, by the way, this is the thing that I want to get across, that this is what real estate does for you at whatever age, no matter what money you have. These guys come from Europe. Both of their parents are still in Europe. My cousin is in her late 50s. They're young. They still want to go see their kids. My other nephew just had a baby. Like, he wants to go see his nephew and his niece, right? They're living this dual life because of the real estate that they have. They're able to come, work, save. They have somebody paying for their Round Rock home. They're working to fix their Lockhart home. They're making sacrifices living in a house that they're working on, but they're young and they can do it.
Yep.
They also, by the way, after living in Round Rock, didn't care for Round Rock. They rented a house on the east side they rented an apartment on the east side that their Round Rock home paid for.
Correct.
Okay?
Right.
Then they saved money, bought the house in Lockhart. Guess what? They don't like living in Lockhart. But now they've got the bug. They see the sacrifices that could catapult them into their 30s to have this dual life, 2 months in Europe.
Correct.
Then they come to America for 4 months to make money. Then they go to Europe for 2 months. It's like summer and holidays.
Correct.
Summer. Where's Jordi right now? He's in Spain.
Yep.
Hey,
my goal is to be a renter. My goal is to be a renter. You know why? Because I'm going to own millions of dollars worth of real estate, and I don't have to live in any one of those homes that I own. Right? Aaron and I would love to live in VRBOs 2 weeks a year all over the world,
right,
while my real estate investments are paying for that.
Right. I mean, here's the deal. You can either do it when you're rich, because I have rich people in my life who own a home in Georgia, own homes like in the mountains of Georgia, own homes in the beaches of Florida, own homes in their hometowns in Mexico. Like, the man is my uncle. He owns a bunch of homes all over. And he started out in a 9-to-5 job, working at a dealership, cleaning the bathrooms, and now he is in the top 50 most richest Hispanic people in America because he's built an empire selling cars. Well, guess what? I saw him here in Austin for the Georgia game, and I'm like, what are you doing now? And he's like, well, I'm opening up dealerships left and right all over. And I'm like, well, what are you really doing? And I turned to my cousin, who kind of runs one of the branches of their company, and he's like, we're in the real estate business, right, which means they're buying and building every single dealership.
Right.
Because if my uncle gets tired of selling cars, he can sell that business, and he's still gonna make a profit on the real estate. So anybody out there in this new millennial of a life where you want to open up your own business, my first advice is, if you get that loan, like as you're starting that business, buy the property that you're starting that business.
Right.
Because businesses come and go, but real estate is here forever.
That's right. And that's really what you kind of learned when you came to 12 Rivers, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I say 12 Rivers, but my brother Charlie.
For sure.
My brother Charlie is a investment guru.
Yeah.
Like, my idol. The man is, 8 years older than me. What's 45 plus 8?
53.
He's 53 years old. He's an uber professional level athlete. He's perfection, quite frankly. Like, he's perfection, and he's done it through real estate, and he has this amazing life.
And hopefully I get to meet Charlie
You
one
need
day.
to meet him. You want to hear a funny story?
Yes.
Last night, we were having a tamale night at my sister-in-law and my brother's house.
Oh, did you bring me some, by the way?
I don't even have mine. First of all, this is a very exclusive group. This is my sister-in-law's high school group of friends. They get together once a year. They're all huge cooks. They all labor of love for weeks leading up to the tamale, and they all bring their own fat and lard to put into the meat to infuse to make the most amazing tamales. Yes. All these boys are white, by the way. And so we're all making the tamales, and afterwards, everything is cooking, we're sitting down, we're having drinks, we're talking, and I'm like, you guys, I'm being more intentional and more proactive with my career and my real estate. Who here doesn't have an investment property? Because I'm talking to a renowned chef couple. She runs like the Austin Wine and Food. And then I'm talking to my friend Scott, who is a renowned like anesthesiologist, doctor. Alan, he's a client of mine, owns property, owns an ADU. We rent it all the time, and he's a lobbyist. And so I've got my friends, and these are affluent people that have lived in Austin since UT, so a long time, because we're all like in our 40s and 50s. And I'm like, Scott, like, do you guys have any property? And he's like, no, I'm always busy at the hospital, and like my wife is just not her thing. Like, she doesn't want to bother with it. It just seems like stress. By the way, we're sitting in my brother's house in Terrytown, a gorgeous multi-beauty, and where we go every week to watch football games and hang out, and everybody loves my brother's comfortable, lovely, lovely home. And I'm like, yeah, you don't want to buy real estate because you think it's so stressful, huh? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, man, Charlie looks real stressed going to Europe every other month, riding his bike and hanging out, huh? That seems real stressful, doesn't it? I'm like, do I look stressful? I'm like, and then I got in his face and I'm like, out of all your friends, who looks the youngest and the best? Because my brother and I do. And we're like, do we look really stressed with all our real estate doctor? You know, like, I don't want to name his name. And I know that he's thinking about it. And this is just my slow burn, because I'm not trying to do a hard sell. No. I'm trying to be like, Scott, you don't have to work this hard in your life to put your kids in college. You don't. Like, you don't.
Listen, I almost want to call out my friend. I'm not going to call him out right now, but I have a friend who has a lot for sale. He paid cash for it on the water somewhere not too far from here. And he has a lot. He has a lot for sale for $2.5 million. First off, I told him it's never going to sell for that. No. It's probably going to sell for $2 million at best. But if it sells for $2 million, I told him, if you just sold it for $2 million right now cash, and you allowed me to manage that $2 million for you in 10 years, I could have you over $6 million. Right. Why would you want this home to sit on the market? By the way, it's been there for a year. Right. Why would you want this lot to sit on the market for the next 3 years when you could cut your ties right now, and in 10 years I could return you $6 million minimum?
Right.
Right, but he doesn't get it because they think it's too risky. They think it's too much. It's just not. They think it's gonna be too much trouble. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Salma and I have entire teams where you don't have to do anything. It'd be no different than you giving your money to a stockbroker and then them taking it for you, and you're not really worrying about your 401k, your retirement. You don't worry about that. Well, it's no different. We have all the same people that we've been in the business with for 20 plus years, building these connections to making sure that our clients are taken care of the most.
Right.
Are they too old school to realize that?
It's not about old school. It's about like education, right. and like American, like the world is not educated this way, right. and it is, by the way, by design. By design. Right. But you know, there's too many people in the world. There's not enough land. This is called scarcity. This is supply and demand. Like, I'm not speaking Mandalorian here. This is plain English, and 1 + 1 does equal exponentially more, and the world thinks it equals 1, but it doesn't. It equals retirement. It equals generational wealth. It equals why aren't they teaching this to kids in high school? They should be teaching this to kids in middle school and then in high school, because at the end of the day, we're being taught right now to give our money to banks, to give our money to stockbrokers, give our money to give our money to put in a mattress, actually keep it safe. Like, cash is a depreciating asset. Nobody's telling you to go buy real estate, which is the easiest and fastest way to make money. Why is that? Or why isn't TV? Why isn't the government? Why isn't the schools telling our kids, invest in real estate as fast as you can, instead of giving your money to somebody else who they're using your money to buy real estate, multi-billion-dollar buildings in downtown New York, downtown San Francisco. Right. I mean, for the same reasons they're telling us to eat, you know, carbs or no carbs or whatever fad. It's because of sales, because of money. It benefits somebody else.
Exactly. It benefits somebody else.
Exactly. However, there are people in the world who don't invest because of pitfalls and things that can happen. In the end, investment is building wealth. Building wealth is the journey to retirement and choice. Correct. So that human beings can do what they want to do instead of having to do what they have to do. It's living for life, not working for life, to be honest with you. And real estate is the way to do it.
Yeah, we're here to help, and we're not only here to help. We're here to show people that it can be done.
Yeah, we're examples.
If we can do it, anybody can do it.
That's right. So continue to follow us. We hope you're enjoying what we're saying. We hope we're not speaking too quickly. We hope you can follow us, and you can always reach out, DM us. We are here for more in-depth conversations anytime.